Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to another episode of City Skylines Mass Transit. Our city is now starting to look a bit more like a proper city. It's not looking quite so disjointed and fractured, it's looking a lot more connected. Unfortunately though, that is causing some problems with traffic, and I have had to go in and just put in some kind of quick fixes with the road network. Now eventually what I'm going to do is all of this stuff that's high density is going to get downgraded to low density. This is going to be sort of an outlying suburb, so a lot of the congestion we're having at the moment will start to go away because the number of people in this area will go away. So the kind of stopgaps I've put in are temporary measures until we can expand our city into other tiles and then relocate some of the population. But what I've done over here is a bit of a custom fix. I've actually moved one of my recycling centres here, these rubbish centres here. One of those has been relocated, and I've put that all the way over here just to spread the load of where the trucks are going, to take some of the trucks off the main road around here where it gets very, very busy during the day. I've also changed this entranceway a little bit, so I've made the road coming off the roundabout one way, feeding up to the roundabout, and then I've put in this little slip system here with a one-way road going in on the other side to just again try and filter the traffic a little bit better. It seems to work in this area, but it does we do have too much traffic, and until we start downgrading to low density there's not much we can do about that. I also put in a little slip road just here as well, which goes straight out to the highway itself, so if there is any industrial traffic that just needs to leave the area completely, they have a quick short route to be able to do that. Moving over here, what I've also done is I've added some on and off ramps which basically bypass the roundabout and come back out here, and what I've also done is I've put them in just here as well. So again, to bypass the roundabout you go down those ramps and they basically connect up to the underground road just here. I'll see if I can show that to you with the info views. So there we go, you can see we've got those little bypass lanes underneath, so that when the traffic gets busy there is still hopefully a way to kind of bypass. And you can see some of the traffic is using that, not a lot but a little bit, and it takes it away from those busy roundabout junctions. I've also put a little slip road in just here again to try and filter out some of the residential traffic that was causing a lot of issues on this roundabout. I've made this a one-way road, so you can only go up to the roundabout here. You can't come off that roundabout anymore onto this one. So it's relocating some of that traffic out this way around this roundabout and down here, but that's having a knock-on effect at this junction. So yeah, like I said, these are temporary stopgaps just to try and keep everything moving and keep the city just progressing a little bit until we can start moving into some other tiles, and then I will start zoning this down to low density because I want this all to kind of have that really nice look that we've built over here. So you can see, this aesthetically looks really good. And as we move up the hill, I've made a few expansions up here as well. So I have now connected this lower district here by a naff forest. You kind of go up the hill, and I've added in a little observatory on a little plateau just here, and I've kind of zoned in a little bit extra around the back here, as you can see. So we had that kind of space there, that's now been filled with again some more low density housing, a little bit of commercial. I've put in a second transport hub there for sending out road maintenance vehicles. It seemed like a good opportune place to put it. And then down here, this has been sort of rezoned as an mini office complex. That's where our second or our third recycle centre is, and I moved the bus depot over here again as well to try and take some of the traffic off those main early roundabouts. And then I've gone ahead and zoned in this block here. You can see, what is that building? That's really cool, the way those two buildings have just spawned. They're two separate buildings, but they kind of almost look like a PC tower in a way, or one really, really big building. That looks really cool. I like that. So yeah, this is a mixture of commercial, office, and some high-density residential, just to try and get the population numbers up a little bit. We are close to getting the next unlock, which is 36,000. That's the next milestone. So you can see we're about 4,000 people away, and that'll unlock some new features, but more importantly, it'll unlock another tile as well. So what I have been doing is just trying to go in and zone in extra housing bits. And the problem is, all I'm doing is just making the traffic problems worse, which isn't great, but there's not really a lot I can do about it. I kind of need to do this to get up to 36,000 so that we can go ahead and we can unlock this tile here. And once we have that tile there, we can then start to begin our city in this bit as we march towards the coast. That, or I can get this one here and we can start to relocate our industry up to the ocean there. So ideally I'd like to have all the tiles unlocked before we start moving over there, but we're kind of run out of space over here. We've filled that entire block there. There's not really much I could do over here. So we need to kind of start going this way, I think. And as I say, all of this high density stuff, that is going to get downgraded and completely reworked into low density districts to make things just a little bit better, I think. So I'm going to spawn in some offices along here just to fill these gaps a bit. There we go. Hopefully that'll get some more jobs in. I'm wary about putting in more commercial, but we might have to. What I could do is I could maybe rezone some of this residential here into commercial and then put the residential down along here. I think I might do that actually. Let's drop in some more residential in these bits just here. I don't want to get too close to the roundabout. It's just asking for more problems there. Anywhere else I can zone. Let's do that there. Zone that there. And then let's rework a little bit of this residential to commercial. So let's take that out, make it commercial. Same there. And there. We'll do on this block here as well, just to try and appease those demands a little bit better if we can. I'm a little wary of putting commercial on this entry road here, but again, it's kind of a needs-must situation at the moment. I just want to try and get to that 36,000 and get that extra tile unlocked. Let's drop some commercial in that block just there as well. I have also routed another bus route, which basically comes from the station just there, this blue line here. And that line there, if I can actually go to the bus lines, that'd be easier to show you. That blue line then runs along to the roundabout, comes down here, feeds into this little zone here, just to drop, you know, a couple of people off in the office park there, and then kind of loops around into this zone here, and then goes back out to the station. So it's a very, very short, you know, sort of little route. And that's to try and increase and encourage more people to use the train service to help manage, you know, costs a little bit, although money is not really an issue. I did reduce the number of trains from 2 to 1 on the service because there wasn't enough people queuing on the platforms to warrant a second train, but I may bump that back up to 2 again. We'll see how that goes. You can see the population is just kind of static at the moment. It's kind of hovering around that 31,000 mark. For the longest time, it would get up to around 29 and then drop back down towards 26 again. It kept growing and then stagnating and then falling. And the problem, I think, is probably the traffic. There's only so much space for vehicles on the road, and these temporary fixes that I've put in have helped, but it's still not enough to really kind of cope with the volume of traffic that we're getting. So dezoning, all the high density, turning it into low density districts like this will make a big improvement, but will drastically lower the population. And then that's obviously not something I want to do at this stage. I need to get those unlocks done. So we're going to have to kind of just suffer through this traffic situation for a while longer until we can start to rectify that. I am wondering whether I need to upgrade this roundabout to faster roads. It seems okay at the moment, and it's a pedestrian access roundabout like this, so I don't really want to change that just yet. But we may have to. Again, you can see, again, we're just getting queues here because I've got too much traffic feeding into this single lane road down here. I can't really do anything about it. But you can see that our little split road there is working very nicely. Traffic comes in and then chooses which lane it wants to go into at the junction. I do like the way it does that. And you can see it on the other lane there in effect as well. Although certainly not as much, but you do see some traffic turning. That's kind of cool. I could potentially help alleviate a little bit of the traffic and make that one way instead, feed it all into this, but then that would make a crossroads a focal point of a lot of traffic, and it's already got enough there as it is. So we're just going to have to put up with the queues. They happen during the day when it gets to night and things calm down a bit. The traffic clears again. It just kind of goes on a little cycle like that. But as I say, we kind of need to just put up with it for now. It's not ideal, but we will get to a point where we can move out of this area into a new zone completely and do away with all of those issues. See, we've still got some more housing going in. Let's have a look. Is there anywhere else I could zone extra stuff into? Again, I mean, look at the queues that we're getting. Not unless I start rezoning some of this high density, and I might have to do that. Kind of wary of doing that. I like what I've created in this area, but just to get those numbers up, I may have to temporarily go high density. I could go high density here. Yeah, let's go high density in Scotter Square. Rezone this block here. This is just going to make the traffic problems in this area even worse, or at least around these roundabouts even worse. But again, as I say, temporary measure just to get the numbers up, and once the numbers are up, we'll change the zoning back to low density, and we'll start dezoning this stuff down to low density once we've started to make some real progress elsewhere, and we'll just kind of ignore this section of the city for a little while. Not an ideal situation, but something that kind of just needs to be done until we can establish ourselves a little bit better. And this whole industry area over here, this will eventually get kind of relocated, or some of it will get relocated. We'll probably keep the lumber industry, but this industry here, a good chunk of this may well get relocated, because as I say, we are going to try and get up a real sort of dock cargo hub area along the coast, and then we can look at running cargo trains through to various different areas from our docks, so that we've got a road access, rail access, and a sea access, all for a converging point for cargo, which can then be kind of split off and shipped into different areas. That's essentially what I'm hoping to achieve as we progress. Just looking at the numbers, and we're not seeing any real movement. Look, see, it's still holding at around 31, close to 32. We are starting to get some buildings going up here in Scotter Square. Whether this is going to be enough or not, I honestly don't know. Probably not. But the buildings do have decent, service support around this area, so they are upgrading, which is going to help because that frees up space for more population in those buildings. So fingers crossed. This will, if it doesn't get us to 36, it'll certainly get us a lot closer, I hope, to 36. Just kind of need to watch and wait and see what happens now. So I'm going to jump ahead a little bit and let this area finish zoning, and then I will come back to you once that's done. Okay, so this area seems to have finished spawning as a lot. I mean, it's still getting the odd ping. You can just see a couple of little green flashes there. We've got some of the buildings just around here that are starting to upgrade. So we are getting a little bit of improvement in this area. And to help stimulate growth a little bit as well, I also slashed the taxes across the board in every industry section, to 10%. Now, initially I was losing money, quite a bit of money, but we're back into a situation where the city is actually turning a profit again. So we haven't really lost out in the grand scheme of things. Again, there's another building upgrade going in just there. So we are still getting improvements. Here come the fire service to stop that building from burning down. There's another building upgrading just there, and another one. We're up to 33,500, more upgrades popping in. All of a sudden we're getting a little flurry of activity. So we are getting there. And let's just take a look at the other stuff that we zoned in around here. Yeah, you can see some of these have upgraded themselves a bit. There's another ping of another development there. So another building getting a little bit taller. We're up to 33,500, so we need to find 2,400 people, or space for 2,400 people to get that next tile. The roads really are starting to get very, very congested. Is there anything I can do in these areas, perhaps? I do love the way those two buildings look back to back like that. Completely random and fortuitous that they happen to spawn like that, but they look fantastic. Just back to back like that. That looks so good. I think they're commercial buildings. Oh no, they're office buildings. There's a big demand for more office, more industry, more commercial, as you can see. And short of zoning this stuff up into high density, there doesn't seem to be much I can do. So, seeing as we've got this kind of separation, I think what I'll do is a temporary measure. Well, it's only going to work partly. I'm hesitant to go ahead and dezone that stuff. I could add a bit more along here, I suppose. Don't want to get too close to the farm. That should do it. Let's rezone this stuff a little bit as well. I'm actually going to take that one out and make that... See, I've got a bigger demand for office than commercial, so let's make that an office building. Let's make that office. That whole block can go in as office stuff. And we'll do it there as well, on the edge of the industry. And we'll spawn in a bit more residential down here, next to the railway. Might get a few noise complaints, but you can see there that's taken a bit of a chunk out of the demand for office jobs or industry jobs. Dropping an extra couple of bits just there as well. It's all about just finding those little extra spots now that I can go ahead and just rework things ever so slightly. I don't really want to drop in any more low density commercial because it's not going to help us. It's about the high density stuff now. And finding the right spots for it as well, where it isn't going to completely cripple what's left of my transport system. Get some offices in that little spot. Which I may as well make all of that office just there. I can... Oh, is that the cable car? No, it's a power line. I can probably get rid of the power line now that I have power going in that area. So I can get a commercial block just there. Squeeze in a bit more residency. I'm literally just trying to squeeze every last drop out of this area that I can. That's the forest entrance way, so that's already got trees and everything there. I don't want to break that up. Going to be people complaining about noise. Oh, need to get some water into that little bit just there. There we go. That'll help ping those buildings. And I need to see if I can maybe drop a couple of parks in to increase the size of certain buildings as well. So you can see here I've got areas with happiness that's high and happiness that's low. If we can boost our happiness in this area where there's a lot of red buildings for leisure, that'll hopefully help as well. Got this big kind of block of space here. Let's see, can we get a big park of some kind in somewhere along here? Oh, I could there. That would work. Let's drop a big park there. You just see a wave of happiness improving in terms of leisure facilities. What about a large playground? I can squeeze one in here. That again has improved that area. And that'll ping all of the buildings in this area, so immediately you see a whole wave of activity has been triggered as buildings get bigger, more jobs are created, more housing is upgraded to larger buildings to bring more population into the area. A massive surge of upgrades going on right now. This hopefully will help tip us over that little edge that we're kind of stuck at. What about in here? Can I get a big park in here somewhere maybe? No, what is that that's in the way? Ah, it's a medical clinic. Okay. Let's see what happens if I relocate that to the opposite side of the road, perhaps? Or on that corner. Trying to find somewhere where it's going to have a minimal impact on existing buildings. I think here. Yeah, let's drop that there. Let's see if I can get one of those really big parks in here now. No, it still won't go because of the slope, because of the terrain. It's so rocky. But it doesn't mean that we can't put something in there Let's see, what haven't we used yet that we could use? Volleyball courts, maybe? Where are the basketball courts? There we go. Let's have a look at getting a couple of basketball courts in here, maybe. Again, you've got a problem with the slope. Let's try one there. Let's get another one next to it. Big improvement in the leisure there. And again, another wave of buildings starting to ping and upgrade. So I'm hoping that's going to give us a bit of a population boost. I mean, this is all low density stuff, so
Are issuing a thunderstorm warning for the coming days.
Oh, that is a big thunderstorm. Oh, bugger. I'm going to pause for a second because I can't remember where everything is that I need to find it. I think it's in... There it is. I'm going to need... where are they? Some of these helicopter fire depots. I'm going to need some of these because there's going to be big fires everywhere, and this will help. The question is, where can I spawn these? I could perhaps bring a road off here into this area and have a couple of helicopter depots just there. That might work, actually. This is going to be a big storm. A very big storm. So I'm going to create this little area where I can zone in some emergency response vehicles or buildings, whichever are needed. Oh, come on. Don't do this silly thing. There we go. So I'm going to need a couple of these. I don't know how big these are. Oh, pretty big. Wow, very big. Okay. That is very, very big indeed. A fire watch tower. We could probably do with a fire watch tower in near our forest, actually. I wonder if this is just a placeable. If this is actually doing a thing. Let's have a look. Forest fires can only be put out with firefighting helicopters. So again, yeah, putting in this fire watch tower will help keep our forest alive. I like the idea of a fire watch tower just there, actually, overwatching our forest. That looks pretty cool, just standing there over our forest. I like that. One of the services I've got that I could drop in. Police helicopter depot. Where is... I've lost where I am on the map now. Here we are. Here's where our other depot is. So let's get our two depots in there. One for police, one for fire. Intelligence agency. We're way off needing one of those. And I don't really know if it actually does anything either. Now I need to probably maybe put a shelter or two somewhere. Earthquake sensor, radio towers, blah 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 blah. I don't have evacuation routes or disaster response unit. Oh, wow, look at the size of this thing. This thing's massive. Where on earth can I fit a disaster response unit? Again, ideally, I could do with it going in here. Oh, look at the size of that thing. It spawns that way. That's not good. So I need to take that pretty much all the way along if I can. To there. Trying not to encroach on farm territory. Oh, it's too close to the road. Damn it. Alright, I'm going to take these out here. I'll take that bit of road out. Let's go straight. Run that to there. Bring it down. Take it across like that and hope that's enough space. Just, oh, wow, look at that. That thing's huge. Alright, let's see what happens with this storm. This is going to be bad. I'm pretty sure of that. Ooh.
A thunderstorm is battering the city. Stay indoors until the storm has passed.
That's a hell of a light show, isn't it? Lightning is striking all over the map. It's going to damage roads, it's going to damage buildings, it's going to set fires. I've got time slowed right down at the moment, just because I want to watch this light show. Oh, that struck the city. Oh, some big strikes going on there. This could, I don't know if these strikes could potentially literally just destroy the buildings or if it's just going to cause massive fires breaking out all over the place. I have been upgrading my services, dropping in extra police and fire as I've been expanding. So hopefully, if a massive fires breaks out, we will be okay. Let's speed time up a bit more now. I would not want to be out in this. Look at it, it's just vicious. Oh, and there's the fires, look. Fires breaking out everywhere. And they have, look, they've destroyed our power connection there. Hopefully those services are still running. You can see... Is the storm over? Yes, the storm is over. You can actually see there, look, we've got a fire helicopter helping out. Let's survey the damage. I think we actually got off quite lightly. We have obviously quite a few fires that have broken out, but our fire department should be able to deal with all of these. See the engines coming here to put that house out. Where else do we have big fires? Over here. Whoa! It's burnt out my scenic... Oh, no. My lovely scenic roundabout. It's just become a bonfire. Oh, no. Oh, I'm gutted. The helicopters come to try and put the fire out. There's going to be nothing left of that. I don't know if it's going to respawn or if it's going to regrow or if I'm going to have to replant all those trees. Oh, it's just a charred, blackened mess, look. Oh, no. Well, we still have power over here. I'm guessing there's a connection through, obviously, the cargo hub there. Yeah, there is. So we don't actually need these pylons anymore, so we can get rid of those. In fact, let's see if there are any more pylons that we can actually physically get rid of and we no longer need. I think I've already removed them all, but you never know. There might be the odd one knocking around. It looks like one of our power stations. I had to stick a second oil power station. This one's waiting for a delivery of oil, by the look of it. Got, yeah, just 3 weeks of oil left. Not enough fuel, so power output is dropping. You can see that one there. Working away at 150. This one's really dropping down. So we're waiting on that delivery of oil before that could potentially cause some power outages. Looks like all of our fires have been put out as our roundabout started to regenerate. Not yet. Oh, I don't want to have to go back in and put all those trees back in by hand. There's a lot of trees in there. There's a lot of bushes that go all the way around the edge as well, around the ring of the roundabout. So that's a lot of that's a lot of trees that need to be replanted. That was a hell of a storm, though, wasn't it? Wow, monster storm. What's our population like? 33,500. We probably lost a few people in the storm. I'm guessing that's a police helicopter. See if I can tag it. It's always hard to tag something like this. I don't think you can actually tag the helicopters. Let's get as close to it as we can. Yeah, you can just see, you know, it's really blurred, but you can just see police on the side of it. So that's kind of cool. I've not seen the police choppers like that before. So they obviously just go out and with the spotlight and patrol. Not sure what else they can do. Let's take a closer look at our police depot here. Patrol the city, report crimes to ground units. Patrolling lowers the crime rate. Okay, that's kind of what I figured. Firefighting helicopters obviously go out and fight fires. What's our disaster response here? Sends helicopters and trucks to destroyed buildings in the city, rescuing survivors and making sure the rubble is safe for rebuilding. Not in use. We probably won't need that unless we get a big earthquake or something. But, you know, seeing as we've put in our disaster response choppers, we may as well put in the disaster response centre as well. Police chopper off and patrolling. And I think we're kind of back to where we were in terms of trying to squeeze every last drop of space out of this city. I just don't know where else and I can really push things. I'm going to deliberately destroy all of these buildings so they rebuild as larger offices. We'll do the same with this residential. We'll just ignore the fact that it encroaches a little bit on the road now. And just really push that up there. We were dropping in services, weren't we, to try and improve leisure ratings and happiness. I'm not going to drop one of these in, but I just want to see where the worst areas are. And it's It's here, slap bang in here. So we need to drop something in this area. Now this is both a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing is it's going to massively improve these buildings, but these are all reasonably well built already, so it's going to take away from some of our existing sort of occupancy. Let's put a plaza. That's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. Where can I drop this? It's going to look good. Now let's drop it there. That's going to have a nice big impact. So you can see already, nice little improvement on that area there. I could do with something over here as well. We've got a dog park somewhere, haven't we? Yeah, let's put a dog park in somewhere. I think just here might be a good spot, on this corner. Although if I can find somewhere that's only going to take out 1 or 2 buildings, I'd rather do that. That's going to take out 4 buildings. Let's do it there. And a big ping through there. That's helped immensely. So we should hopefully now see this whole wave of green arrows and redevelopments going on as this whole area expands and upgrades. You can see some birth symbols popping up there. The little blue man in the icon there. They're indicating new people moving into those buildings, and an increase in land value as well, which will generate better sales for our businesses, which will hopefully generate more jobs because those buildings will upgrade. It's a, you know, it's a nice little sort of cycle there. Oh, that looks like it's starting to grow back a little bit, maybe. It's not completely stripped out trees. There's a little bit of life in those there. There's a little bit of leaf. We'll see what happens. I'll keep an eye on that, but I really, as I say, don't want to have to redraw all those trees. And let's see if we can just give this one more little nudge. Something over here, perhaps. Little Zen gardens, perhaps. Let's take out a single smallish building if I can. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Let's drop a Zen garden there. Another wave of happy people. That might not do that much in terms of upgrades, but yeah, it kind of needs to be these buildings here, really. What else can we drop in service-wise? Maybe drop in a faculty. We've already got great eligibility with our university, but maybe a faculty as well. I'm trying to pull out every little trick I can to boost our city in some way, shape or form. I can squeeze a building on the end without doing major damage. That's what I'm looking for. Ooh, there's a chance. Is that going to ping these buildings, perhaps? Maybe? Please? No, I don't think that's going to boost. What about our police and fire? I've already got great coverage. There's nowhere that's really unhappy with police coverage. Crime rate's only 6%. Fire coverage, this might be a bit more telling. Fire hazard is 20%. We could probably do with another bit of fire safety over here. Now I have already dropped in, as you can see, a fire station there, and there's a police station there, which both feed onto Pecky Lane, which can then service both industries pretty quickly. But maybe there just isn't enough overall coverage. Let's upgrade And again, we might actually... No, I'll keep these low density because I want to kind of keep that low density look. Let's drop in a police and fire sort of over here. There's a couple of small buildings there. Big improvement. Are we going to get some pings? Please give me some pings. No, it's just going to improve coverage. Well, we have got some pings going on over here, though. Industry's suddenly getting a nice little boost from that extra fire service being nearby. And you can see our population has stagnated again at around 33,000. This is the frustrating thing, trying to just squeeze everything out of this city that I can. It reaches a certain point, then drops, and then goes back to that point, and then drops again. I need to find 3,000 people. And the only way I think I'm going to be able to do that is by rezoning one of my low density areas into high. Traffic is bad. There's not a lot I can do about that. We know about that. Garbage. Garbage is good. Incinerator status could be a little bit better. Maybe I need to drop in an extra incinerator. Oh yeah, we're over, overproducing. We're going to need another one, so I'll have to put a third one here back on Binney Street again. That's a bit better. We're keeping up with garbage production now. Medical coverage. What's our medical coverage looking like? Again, pretty good. Average health is only 78%. And that's partly because we've got, a lot of noise pollution complaints. We've got a lot of, just general pollution complaints with being close to the industry area. I've got a health service that I dropped in there as well to, again, improve health in Middle Heights. What about death care? Cemetery use, 58%. Crematorium availability, perfect. That's fine. I'm not worried about that at all. We've done fire in that. Education. I should do it in the info views, actually. So education, you can see at elementary level, we are just under the capacity, but we're okay. High school, we are under capacity. And at university, we are way under capacity. So I might be able to maybe improve Scotter Square with an elementary. Still getting people moving into this area, but they've already got reasonably decent coverage, as you can see. I don't want to drop a school in just for the sake of dropping a school in. I may have to. Yeah, I'm not going to bother. There's not enough population in that area to justify sticking in yet more schools. Transport links. Well, I've got links through each of my different zones, so you can see they're all serviced. They're serviced. These districts are serviced. Those districts are serviced. I've got some service in this district. I haven't got anything up here. We could maybe stick a bus route in over here. That'll give another little ping of movements. And where's my connecting service? Oh, that's in this little runaround in here, isn't it? Okay. So let's start a new route in here. Let's see. Yeah, a new dark green route. And we'll bring that up here. So we'll come up to the roundabout. Actually, let's go in here. So we've got all of this area to service over here. Let's get a stop there. And a stop there. And yeah, immediately I'm getting the green arrows of upgraded buildings. Let's drop another one there. Another one there. One there. And then we'll bring this back out this way. And take that back to complete the loop. Ooh. Yeah, okay, we can do that. And we can then just move this so it actually goes around the loop. There we go. So the buses will now filter out from my bus depot, just here, rather than... was it there? No. The bus depot's over here now, isn't it? There we go. So you can see those buses getting pressed into service. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of stops. I think the more stops you have, the more buses you put on the route. So they're all going to get pressed into service, running on that new little residential route there. That'll help boost population happiness a little bit, if not maybe the population levels. Kind of running out of things to do in this area. So while we're kind of waiting for that, we're going to zone in some more subscriber names to end the episode. So first up, Morris Rovanault wants a road name. So we're going to do Rovanault Drive. So let's see if we can find a good road for you, Morris. Got Carley Street there. That's a really short one there, Scott Boulevard. Let's do this one here, Harvey Street. So, as requested, Rovendale Drive for Maurice Rovanault. Who else? Foxtrot Alpha Zulu wants a commercial district, if possible. You know, Faz Square. What do we have as a commercial kind of block? We've got Dale Hills. There's a fair bit of commercial over there. Yeah, let's go with Dale Hills. There we go. We have Faz Square, Foxtrot Alpha Zulu Square. And one more. Ben Mendel has asked for Benjamin Boulevard. So, let's find another good road. We haven't done this one here yet. So we've got Pierce Holmes Boulevard. Let's rename that Benjamin Boulevard. There we go. So that's 3 more subscriber names that have been added into our little city here. We are close to getting the next tile. I'm going to try and do a little bit more tweaking between episodes. Really kind of push this through and get up to 36,000, so we can start expanding into this area. We're just a little bit too far away from the water to start work on an industry area over there and start bringing the city. This is where I want the main sort of heavy high density stuff to be, in this kind of area, the center of the city, and then this, I want this to be low density, and low density moving into high density around here. So and same on this side of the road as well. I might potentially look at building a small little town area over here, but we have got this dumping ground for terraforming, so I'm a little wary of that. We could maybe try and do something in this area. We have got a rail connection as well that we could look at in the future, so I might try and do something along the water along here, perhaps maybe get a bridge of some kind to try and link these areas together. We'll see how things shake out. But that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with another episode of City Skylines Mass Transit very soon.